Hello folks, I'm the owner of Webb Productions and welcome to the C3 presentation video. Before we get into this video, I kind of want to give you guys a little update on things just so you're all in the know, and then we'll start on the presentation video. For starters, I have not been able to upload a single video because I've been working very heavily on my master's project. That's hopefully going to change in the summer because my summer is entirely opened up to me now, and it's perfect that I'm able to do stuff during the summer again. Another thing is that the costume contest is hopefully going to come out soon. I'm not quite sure. I'm still trying to get stuff situated with that. I do want to apologize for not being able to get that much content out, but I hope you all understand with how things are going and everything else like that. I do plan to do more, but it's just been me trying to relax and not burn myself out. I've been working on my prop pack that I think some of you have seen. Again, if you guys are if anybody is wanting to be curious as to how I'm doing and like the progress I do towards stuff, I post sometimes on Discord, barely on Twitter, barely on Instagram. On Nexus, I might post stuff, but then again, you guys know all my socials, and if you don't, then you can just head to the start of like the channel page and see all the socials that are there and check me up on there. Now, the C3 presentation was absolutely fantastic. I loved doing the entire thing, and throughout the entire event, I was so happy to be a part of so many different panels. Spike Johnson did an excellent job hosting. The video that you're going to be seeing might look a little bit weird in quality, but that's okay because it was recording from the Discord. It was recording from a Discord shared screen as well as like my face cam as well. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I hope you all enjoy it. This is the end of this, so I'll see you all later. I'll try to post as much as I can. Check out my new mods on my Nexus profile, and yeah, as always, I hope you all have yourself a great rest of the day. Good night, everybody, and enjoy the video.
Hello, welcome one and all to the next segment of C3. My name is Spike Johnson, self-proclaimed leader of the Tree Crew, and as your humble host, I would like to introduce you guys to my special guest over here, Webb Productions Entertainment.
Hello, folks. How's everyone doing today on this fine Friday?
Yes, I hope we're doing fine. I had some connective issues for a second there. I hope I'm doing fine now.
Like
Please let me know.
Like,
yeah, like, right? Like, oh, wow, we're getting a rave from the Eleonora. Let's go and crash. Like, you know, perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah.
All right.
No, yeah, no pressure.
No,
oh, man.
Into this.
Right? Yes, of course, you guys are not here for me. So I'm gonna let Webb take over, do his thing. Also, Eleonora, you're the bomb. You did an awesome job. Yeah. Let's get to our little scene over here, shall we?
Hello, folks. I'm the owner of Webb Productions, and welcome to my journey as a modder. First off, I'd like to thank C3 for allowing me to present this all to you. I'm very honored to be able to share this journey, but also make it an informative one for all of you to enjoy. So, with all that said and done, let's get right into this, shall we? First off, let's talk about the goal of this presentation. Why am I here? Why are you talking to a person who somehow, for some weird reason, has a microphone as a mascot for their channel? Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to share with you my journey as a modder so you can all understand how learning out with just starting something small can lead to more creativity down the line. This is a creative type of presentation, just to show everybody just like how starting something small can just lead to something way bigger down the line. Whether it be as an artist or creating any other type of content, I hope that this presentation might inspire you to like step into modding or just build confidence in your own creativity. So let's start off with, who am I? Who am I? Who am I and what do I do? My name is Webb Productions Entertainment. I've been making Fallout mods for 3 years, going on 4 years. Starting out for this year will actually be my 4th year starting out making mods. I also have a YouTube channel where I showcase these mods in action. Over the years, it has been my mission, my destiny, you may say, to make Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas as close to the first 2 Fallout games as possible. Whether it be through replacers of weapons, armor, and creatures, or by implementing in through clothing or world props. It has been my absolute mission to try to make it to where it's as close as the originals as possible. But how did it all start? How did this journey as a modder just begin and start where it is right now? My journey as a modder began when I first started creating weapon replacers for Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. These replacers would just simply convert the already existing weapon to their Fallout 1 or Fallout 2 counterpart. I did this mainly because I liked the art style of the weapons from the early games. Now, in this creative process, this was a simple, easy first step. Just changing a file path with a tool that was available to the entirety of the community can lead off to some type of path that you might not know that you're on yet. So just making that simple replacer was just my start of modding, and it turned out really well because a lot of people, fortunately, are just like those replacers, and I was very surprised. So what did that lead to just by replacing one model? What did that lead to? Well, it began whenever I was starting to do modeling. And that was with NIF bashing. For those of you who do not know, NIF bashing, or for other people, it might be called kit bashing, is where you combine two different types of 3D objects to create something new. So after I made some more replacers and even diving a little bit into retexturing, I then began to NIF bash assets together to create something new. The very first one I ever created was the classic Fallout-inspired plasma rifle replacer. That's a big mouthful, but which at the time was a pretty big challenge of what I could do creatively, especially how I was able to do it. Let's just say it was absolutely cursed in every single way possible. It was just terrible, but like I learned later on down the line better ways. But beginnings, it was a little bit rough start. But understanding which form of creativity you had fun with, because I had fun with that. I had fun making this plasma rifle. And in my case, it was 3D modeling. But for others, it could be something completely different, and it matters intensely of what you have fun with. If you don't have fun with doing a certain thing, then that's obviously not for you, and you just move on to something else that allows you to have fun, or just you think is fun in general. Moving on from there, we have ourselves the first Titans in the New West patch was born. So this is one heck of a story, and for those of you who know me on Nexus, you definitely know that I am considered the Titans in the New West patch guy, but this is the original reason of how that started. During the recent months of creating those replacers at the time, RageBear, a really very talented user on Nexus, and I were busy trying to find out how to make a patch for the mod Titans in the New West. Now, at the time, it was a year old and no one, and I mean nobody, was able to figure out how to make it work for other power armor mods, like you see in the one in the background. You could not find out anything. There was no guide, it was like basically having to decrypt code for a game that did not have the tools for it already. But we eventually made it to where it worked. Tactics Midwest Power Armor Titans in the New West patch was made, and people were going absolutely nuts. And it's insane. From there on out, that set my path for doing armors in many ways than one. Credits to RageBear for helping me with the scripting and giving armor modeling tips while I was creating this patch. Without him, I would not have been able to make those patches, and I thank him so much for that. Another similar project where I was working on a certain model with somebody else, or modeling, but a mod in particular, was the Colt 6520 pistol, the iconic weapon from the original Fallout. At this point in my modding career, I had not made a 3D model that could be implemented into Fallout New Vegas. Now, at the time, I was in college, and I did make models, but I did not, in many senses, I did not implement them into Fallout New Vegas because I had no idea. So when it came to it, I wanted to make the Colt 6520 10mm pistol. So this was a very big team effort, and I had Quib Mods, who was a very talented modder, help me out with it by critiquing and helping to texture my model. He showed me the ins and outs and of what to do whenever I was making a 3D model. And having people guide you or help you is an important step in the creative process, because without some little feedback, you could just be overdoing a simple step. You start right here, and then you go here past 5 days, whenever you could just have done it in the same day. That's basically what the idea is. You have other people help critique you, you have them help you out in many ways than one. Then the big mod, Classic Fall Weapons Remastered. Once the Colt 6520 pistol was published, I then started thinking of remaking the iconic Classic Fallout Weapons mod, which at that point was only 10 years old. It was a decade-old mod that nobody played because it was broken. So, from going to modders asking permission to use their assets, then moving on to creating a script to implement all the weapons, even making an additional patch, Classic Fall Weapons Remastered was released, and it put me and my channel on the map. The trailer for this iconic mod that I made, which you can see now on my YouTube channel as like one of the main videos on it, is one of the highest viewed videos to this day, and it's still one of the most downloaded mods that I have released. Whenever you are doing something creatively, showcasing your work is very important, especially if it's something you're passionate about. It shows people what you are able to do as a creative person. And that's for anything. ArtStation, Instagram, Twitter, anything else like that. Any type of social media, even YouTube. All of those. Just put your work out there so people know what you are able to do as a creative person. No matter what it might be. I mean, heck, code could be even a thing you publish out there. What came after Classic Fall Weapons Remastered and me eventually joining the modding projects? After Classic Fall Weapons Remastered was released, I just began to repeat what I had done before. Making replacers, making new additions. Classic Fall Weapons Remastered was, of course, very, very highly, praised, and it received updates and scripting help thanks to Sweet 6 Shooter. But I was wanting to do more. I didn't just want to do what I was doing consistently over and over again. I wanted to expand on what I could do creatively, not only for myself, but to help others. That's why I decided to become a part of some pretty awesome modding projects. Working with the team can seem a little overwhelming at the beginning, but it will help you understand some team dynamics you can apply later on when you're working at your dream job. Just some experience, some work experience, even if it's with a team that's doing something for free, is very important for any type of creative process, especially if you're wanting to do that day in and day out. So what modding projects I'm a part of? I'm a part of a lot of modding projects. At the moment, I'm currently involved in the Capital Wasteland project as a VA and VA production manager, Fallout the Odyssey as a 3D modeler. I'll hit these. Fallout the Odyssey, Revelation Blues, Nuevo Mexico, and Tales of New Reno Episode 3 as a 3D modeler for outfits, weapons, creatures, and props. I do all of that for all of those mods, and I'm very happy to work for them. Fallout New Vegas Arsenal Weapons Overhaul, I help port assets. And for Project Wasteland, I am a UV unwrapper and screenshot taker. That is a recent mod that I made with Citizen, who is a very talented 3D modeler. Hello folks, quick interruption here before we get into the creature section of the C3 video. I want to make sure and give a shout out to Drax, also known as Kane McBain on Nexus, for helping me figure out how to get the creatures to work. We figured it out together over a Discord call whenever he was working on his flesh mutations. So I want to make sure and give a big thanks to him, and I'll make sure to link his Nexus in the description below so you can all check out his work whenever he publishes the flesh mutations in the future. Without further ado, let's get back into the C3 video. Enjoy. So showcasing what I have made recently. So here's where I'm showcasing a little bit of what I've done. First off is the classic creature style retexture pack, which basically takes a bunch of the creatures, puts them in a Fallout 1 or Fallout 2 blender, and just spits them out as best they can. This I had a lot of fun making, especially using these little tiny sprites as inspiration and just color picking them from those sprites just to make something new out of it. Just thinning up the tail of the rat scorpion, or just making them ants look red is something that's just a little dynamic difference that makes it look all the more like the classic. Making the mole rat's ears longer, the mouth longer to where it looks like it's a little snout, not making it look like a capybara, which of course that's what it looked like before, but then just making a giant rat that just looks like a rat just by simply retexturing it. Up next was the classic Super Mutant style armor, which is all these mods, by the way, you can download right now off of my modding page. But this was also another one. Is just diving into creatures, which I've only recently been able to do. Now, with the Super Mutants, you have yourself a light version, which the toupee is that of Hulk, the medium is that of Harry, and the heavy is that of Lou. We all understand this process here. Hulk, Harry, Lou, it's all in the process, people. But either way, I loved making this, especially just trying to combine both styles of the original Fallout with that of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and just slapping them together. Slapping them together to create something new from it. That was what has been passionately driving me towards this new project that I've been making as of recently, but I'll show you guys that at the end. There's also a Tale 2 Wastelands version that also affects all the Super Mutants in the Capital Wasteland to have that iconic armor, even a unique version for the Super Mutant Overlord, with having a pauldron of a T-45 armor piece to make that to make it show that, hey, they did kill some type of Brotherhood soldiers back in the Capital Wasteland, and they just wear that armor now. Now for a little bit of what the mainstream later on was about, my recent Tactics Midwestern Deathclaw replacer. Now, this was made from the base of, this was made from the base of my friend Moonbat's Deathclaw mod. And I just used that as a base, and I had to first off just adjust the snout by a lot. Whenever it comes to creatures trying to make them look like something else, you had to make it look almost right, but of course you can't get 100%. So I had to adjust the snout. I had reference images of the concept art for the Tactics Deathclaw to use just to adjust certain parts of the Deathclaw body, just to make it to where it looked similar to that original concept art. I even removed the pinky from the actual Deathclaw itself, just to make it to where it only had 4 claws, like the original concept art had. And then I just kept on messing around with it, trying to see what worked. I then moved forward to adjusting the horns, using the big horner horns for a set of its horns, and then just adjusting the nose piece to where it went upwards all the way up. You can also notice right here that the legs, like for instance the feet, are like kind of stretched up a little bit. That was trying to match the Tactics concept art, but that did fail in the end though, because the way that the bone weights are, that didn't quite work out or pan out as well. But I had fun making this over the months that I did make this, and it was a challenge. It was a great big challenge for me to try and create this type of creature. I then just kept on working with it, trying to make it work in game. I made different variants, and it ended out looking like this. This was the final result of that hard work that I put into over the months. And it was well done and appreciated, and so many people were liking what I was able to make here just by doing a nifbash or just changing things around with the creature. And I made it look like what a lot of people don't really like, but at the same time, I kind of grew to liking it because it was a combination of both the Tactics way that it looked, for instance, this little tidbit right here, but also with the scaliness of the Deathclaw that you can see right here. It's very like a combination of both worlds, and it works very, very well. Moving on from this, I have myself here something to show you all, which is a work in progress of a new mod that I have been making. The last one that I just showed you was one I've already released, which you can all download for free. And even use in your own modding projects if you wanted to, just make sure to give me credit. But This has been one of the things that I have been working on recently, and this is something I'm very passionate about. And it's a NIF bashing project. It's a NIF bashing prop, classic prop project. This certain prop pack is going to eventually, at the very end, whenever it's completely finished, feature 60 props for people to use in their modding projects or anything else like that as a modding resource. Now, why am I doing this for Fallout New Vegas, and why am I doing this for these classic props in particular? One, I want to prove that even as an artist, you have to keep on staying stylized and including the quality of whatever game you're in. So for instance, if I was jumped into, I don't know, ID Software and they asked me to work something in the recent Doom game, I'll be like, okay, I'll make a prop model for that, or I'll use already existing assets they have and create something new from it. This is supposed to prove or show that type of quality of that certain type of technique in particular. So you can tell here you have yourself, for the couch in particular, you have yourself the dining chair from like the diners. You have yourself a pipe from a random pipe piece, and then you just have yourself the tires on the bottom of it. And then all those match together, changing textures up and stuff like that, combine into a new asset. Even Bob's Iguana Bit stand. I'll even comment on Bob's here. The surface right here is the Rivet City. It's the Rivet City little things, like the little Rivet City parts with the office textures. Then just the Bob's Iguana Bit stand. That's the Nipton sign, folks. That's just the Nipton sign changed around to where it just says Bob's Iguana Bits. And somehow, all of these work together into creating something new, and it doesn't dither in quality. It doesn't reduce what it actually is. It very much increases the amount of creativity that I can do, but also show off to people. For instance, this stone dome stove. That stone dome stove. Gosh, that's like, say that 3 times fast. Stone dome stove. Okay, I can't even say it. This stove is literally just combining pieces of already existing things, and it works as an actual cooking piece of like thing that you could just go in there, cook something on it, and then you're just, hey, I just cooked iguana meat on this thing. Or heck, the coffin display, something that you like have at some type of like morgue, I guess, or something else like that. Just a different type of stoplight that is all of it is just different. All of it is unique. All of it is here for people to use once I am finished with it. And I'm very passionate about this when it comes to creating props because I love making this stuff. Now, I believe the next slide here is more. I thought it was the end for the second. Some of these are more recent. You have yourself the Brahmin cart, just a random junk wall that's taken from the sprite, a domed street lamp, and a farmer's wooden wheelbarrow. All of these together just change some aspect. It makes it to where if Fallout New Vegas had a little bit more time, or any of these other games took inspiration from these props, it just shows that they can do that. But it also just shows like, I can do this for anybody else's games. If they come on, if they like ask me to like join on and just work for them, I can do this for anybody. And I'm very passionate about this. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. But it's something that I am very fond of in particular. So with that, Q&A. That would be the last section of this. Spike, do you want to go ahead and switch to the screens? Can I hear you, Spike?
Yes, there we are.
Oh, I can't hear. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, man.
Make sure that the Q&A is unhidden here.
Yep, will do. Boom.
I was keeping an eye on the time, and I'm hoping I didn't rush through that.
I think we're still good.
All right. I'm hoping everyone is enjoying the stream, by the way. I hope you're all having yourself a fantastic day. All right. Anyways, so first question
My
here,
friend!
and I'll also take questions from the chat once I answer these. Your mods seem to be focused more on the classic Fallouts. What do you think the newer Fallouts lack compared to the classics? It's the mood and tone for a lot of the new Fallout games. They don't really have the new they don't really have the mood and tone of the OGs in particular. It's all in the originals, it's all this gothic architecture. You have all this stuff that seems like it's just hopeless for anybody living in this area. And it kind of like some of the newer Fallouts kind of lack that in certain ways, where it's just a desolate Mad Max area that's full of sand, or just maybe a place that's just completely torn apart. It just, there's not that much of it in the newer Fallouts, but I kind of wish that they brought some of it back. But they did. Granted, they brought some of that style back in Fallout 76, but comparatively, it's not as much of just having it consistently throughout the entirety of the games.
Agreed.
What do you like about the class? Oh, do you want to say it? Do you want to question me? Sorry.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. What do you like about the classics? I like about the classics, I love the style, I love the grittiness, I love everything about the classics in particular. There's some things, of course, like with dialogue stuff, but I'm talking like artistically, I love the entirety of the art for everything. I mean, if the camera was zoomed out, right behind me is a literal poster of the T-51B render image from Fallout 1. That's how much I love it. That's how much I love Fallout 1 and the classic Fallouts.
What made me your camera? Modding? Do it.
Oh, I can actually do that.
I double dare you. There you go.
There it is. Ooh.
Oh, you good.
Yeah, I just have to readjust it. What made me begin modding Fallout? Well, what made me begin modding Fallout was just editing something using the edit engine, like using Xedit. And I also like heard from some other people, little bird called Tell Shadow, that it would be fun. So I started doing it, and I loved doing the heck out of it. And she kind of taught me a little bit of the ropes. And ever since then, I've been thankful that she introduced me to modding, and I've never forgot it ever since. What was my first exposure to the series? It was Fallout 4, and I never went back to it ever since until they have themselves weapon conditions. And what do I like about modding the most? The best thing I like about modding is the community. The community is one of my most favorite things about modding. They're so thankful, they're so kind, they're so... Sometimes it gets a little bit annoying sometimes, but that's barely there anymore. At the very least, everybody's very thankful and very appreciative, and they're very kind. And I very much appreciate them. A lot. And without them being so positive and upbeat, I would have not been able to be where I am today. So I thank them so much for sticking with me even through the times where my computer was probably at the repair shop or anything else like that. So, yeah. What type of questions do we have here for the chat, by the way?
Yeah, we got at least 3 minutes left. So these were like pre-sent questions to my buddy Webb over here. If you guys in the chat, if you have any questions you want to ask them now before we get this right train going. Yeah, talking about your appreciative people. There you go. ProSnap. I was already saying amazing.
I'm just doing this like, yes.
Yes. Nailed it. Yeah.
Nailed it.
No, but yeah.
Woo.
It's a lot of work that goes into it. That's for sure.
Yep.
I can't do what you do, man. But it's
it's
awesome.
It's a lot of work. Especially if you can do something like this too.
Oh yeah. Hey, do you Smoothskins have a question or what? Let's see. All right, so we got Epius Gamer says, what are your favorite tools for working with models and game data?
So there is BSA, which is one of my favorite tools to get to extract assets from, and then there is for models, it's Blender. I love using Blender all the time because it's so easy to work around with. I've enjoyed doing it over and over and over again, and I cannot get enough of it when it comes to it. So you and Fall 4, not a good thing. Oh. Beta.
You're just like, oh, I'm calling you out, man. Nice.
Well, listen, I mean, if you actually want me to share this screen really quickly, I can actually show you guys.
Yeah.
Hold a second. Change windows here.
All right, we got 1 more minute, and then we get this rate train on the road.
Yeah. Oh,
You disappeared.
I lost my ability to stream my thing. Oh. Yeah, it's lagging. It's lagging. That's why. Maybe this might work. Okay. I'll show this off at the very least. A new recent modding project trying to get it to work. But this is like a little bit of a minute. Oh, yeah. Everybody has to leave now. Hey, this is the only thing you get to see. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Right?
All right. Folks, hold on. Before you say it, Raid. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you all have yourselves a great rest of your day. This is Spike Johnson. I'm Webb Productions, and we will see you all later.
Yes. Thank you for joining. All right, thank y'all for joining. We're gonna rate Mr. Nee here, and we're gonna get this train on the road. Let's go. All right. Thanks for joining. See you guys in the next one.